Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to day 2 of Vlogmas. I am super excited to kind of show you guys this build today. It will be a two-parter. I just felt like it would have been a very long video had it been one part. I also ended up speeding this up by 2.5, so originally it was like 40 something minutes, now it's like 12 something minutes, or not 40, I'm sorry, that's an exaggeration. About 15 minutes, oh my goodness, about 30 minutes, and then I sped it up. So yeah, so I just wanted to kind of, dive into how I kind of came up with this. So, if you guys have ever watched any sort of show about corporate America or pretty much anything with people working in any sort of office, like I would say even Friends, and then the show The Office. So I was thinking of, when they have their holiday parties and everything, they always have like everything go all out. And I have also worked in corporate America before, and I've worked in a place where we have the office party at the office, and then I've had one where we go to a restaurant, have a party room, things like that. Personally, I prefer just like during my lunch, like during working hours, and then just like ordering food and calling it a day, because I don't necessarily like having to do things for work after working hours. Like that's a whole other thing, though. I don't even want to really get into that story about how much I didn't like my last job. However, I got the idea. I was like, what if I make an office, quote unquote, an office, and then decide to have people like build sims, create sims, put them in an office party setting, and then be able to kind of record that for you guys. So this is me building the office that eventually people are going to go into. And look, it's the Sims, so it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be the exact office like you're probably thinking of. I did try to make it as similar as possible and kind of give you guys a better idea of kind of what offices look like. I will also say the current build I'm working on at this moment is not the build that I end up using. I actually end up deleting this build because I don't know, there was something about it. I felt like I could have tried to salvage it, but then I got annoyed, and I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna start completely over because I can't handle this at the moment. So I will say it was kind of a task to kind of come up with this. Like, I had a picture in my head, and then I was just like not liking the way it was turning out in this original build. But then after, I did like it a lot. And I will say again, just because it is The Sims and because I am not the most skilled builder, I would say, I just decided to kind of give it my best shot and everything. I do like the way it turned out, and I think it's actually really great, and I very much like it. So I also feel like I have, the copy tool. I feel like I don't use it right or something. I don't know. But yeah, so clearly, offices are very plain. Like, there's nothing really special about them. They're all just kind of boring. Like, even the last one I worked at, like, for as much fun as they quote unquote tried to make it, it was just beige and boring. And you can only, unfortunately, a lot of offices have restrictions, especially because leases tend to be up and things like that. So unfortunately, you can't customize it all the time always. Usually the times I've seen it are when you sign a long-term lease or something similar to that. Even then, that's not necessarily guaranteed. It depends on the company you're renting from and the people that you're renting from. So again, it's nothing bad. It's just something that I've noticed in my time in corporate America. So also, I don't know why I struggled so hard with these windows. For some reason, these windows were giving me like a lot of problems. Like, the front ones in general were just giving me a lot of problems. The rest of them didn't really give me any problems. I just really wanted to build something very basic but very business-like. I do end up putting an elevator in. I just want to say that now, but I will say I did not realize that you can only have one elevator in The Sims. I was like, I thought you could have like multiple, so I thought it was really annoying that I couldn't have multiple elevators because I was just like, why? Like, should have multiple elevators. Like, it's weird that you're telling me I can't. Also, I don't know why this copy tool wasn't working like the way I wanted it to. I felt like that was like a me problem maybe. I also decided to do 3 stories instead of 4 just because I felt like that kind of worked a bit better for this particular um build. So I wanted to, because I wanted like a stairway kind of like leading to the roof, I had to make sure that, you know, I was able to build that 4th full wall, because in The Sims 4 you can only have 4 stories, which is 5, no, 4, because I think the basement counts as 1 if I'm not mistaken. Um but yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. But or you can have very high half walls, which I feel like are how some people get around it. But anyway, that's not the point. The point being that I, you know, was trying my best with these windows, because again, every office I've ever worked in, if you are facing a window, it is floor to ceiling windows. So I just kind of wanted to do that. I did leave some room for the stairwells because I don't know if people can go up and down easily in the elevator. I just wanted to make sure that everybody had like access to stairs, and then eventually I do put bathrooms in, and things like that, just because it needs it. And especially if I decide, well, I should say, when I record the video of an office party, you know, we need people to be able to use bathrooms. If not, they're going to pee themselves, and it's going to be a whole thing. And I bet you a lot of people would die of embarrassment. So anyway, that's really not the point, but that's just kind of where my head's at the moment. I will say I decided that the first floor wasn't necessarily going to be like a super typical first floor, because usually first floors have offices, and then the basement is usually where they kind of have like a cafeteria. Or it could be the first floor, but not always. I did make the first floor like kind of that type of area, as you'll see in the video. And this is where I find out that you can only put 1 elevator for some reason. So go figure. I was gonna put like 3, you know, kind of like most office buildings do. I don't know why I thought if I went to a different floor it would be different, and then I thought maybe it's because it's a residential lot. So I just ended up putting it on the 3rd floor, so that way like people can take the elevator to the 3rd floor. And this is where I decide, you know, this is where the bathroom is gonna go. And yeah, I don't know. I like what I did, but I feel as if I'm missing something. And I know I specifically built it for I specifically built this to be a party office, quote unquote. But I don't know, there's just something I felt like I was missing. You could definitely use this, like you could functionally use this to do work things, because I end up putting desks and everything. Also, I hate that like I didn't build enough, so I just like made the bathroom a little bit smaller. But I really do like how this turned out, but there are just some things that I just wish I could change. And if you guys have ever worked in a corporate office setting, I'm sorry, like sometimes some people really destroy, like I don't even want to talk about some of the things that I've witnessed in or heard in a bathroom. And I don't just mean like bodily functions, I mean just like everything. It unfortunately it was really, really bad. But you know, overall, I will say I've had 2 vastly different experiences working in corporate America. Like, I had one great company and then one company that was horrible. So that sucked, but it is what it is. I will say, I don't know, office parties, usually people get like really crazy at them, and I always found that really, really weird that people got like super intense at their holiday parties because like your boss is there. I'm not sure if people feel the same way about that in other countries, but I always felt that way in America, just because I'm like, your boss is there, like you shouldn't be acting so belligerent all the time. Like I think you can have a drink or two, but there are some people who get like hammered, and I'm just like, have some decorum. Like, your boss is still there, this is still like a work thing. I also think sometimes like I'd rather just take a bigger bonus than you sitting here and throwing a whole holiday party, just because I feel as if sometimes you don't necessarily want that. But I am going to be quiet now and let the rest of the video play out. I hope you guys enjoy it, and tomorrow there will be part 2.